Welcome to Ouarzazate and the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which has been the backdrop to some of Hollywood's biggest movies since Lawrence of Arabia. So that there is the Kasbah of Ait Benhaddou, and as well as Gladiator, it's appeared in Jewel of the Nile, the Bond film, The Living Daylights, more recently the live-action remake of Aladdin and Game of Thrones, and it's easy to see why. In fact, much of Series 3 was filmed right across Morocco, and this Kasbah made of clay doubled as Yunkai, or the Yellow City. Today though, only 5 families are still living inside this giant fortress, which grew as a waypoint for travellers, transporting everything from salt and spices to gold along the major trans-Saharan route. So it's right there we first see Russell Crowe in the arena in the Gladiator film. The arena took just a few short months to build in front of this timeless visual landscape that's difficult to find anywhere else in the world. Now, some of what's made here in Ouarzazate for TV and film comes out of here, not just the biggest film studios in North Africa, but at 31,000 square meters, it's among the biggest anywhere you'll find. It's here you can find film props and sets, including the plane from the Jewel of the Nile, cages from Gladiator, and the chariot from Ben-Hur. With its reliable weather and a huge amount of local extras, it's here you can step back in time to ancient Egypt and the backdrop to films such as The Mummy. But you might remember it better as Hamunaptra, City of the Dead. Or you can swing open the doors to sets from Cleopatra and Alexandra the Great. They've been making films here since way back in the early 80s, and the area can mimic a variety of countries around the world. And if Rome is more your thing, there's Caesar's house from Brutus. Yeah, I've not seen that one either. Then there's the room where the slaves waited patiently below the arena in Gladiator for a chance to go on and compete in Rome's famous Colosseum. Or there's the street of Afghanistan, which was the set of Black Hawk Down and the 2006 film Days of Glory. And just around the corner, this backdrop has appeared in everything from Aladdin to the 2010 film Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal. And when famous director Martin Scorsese couldn't film at an ancient Buddha temple in Tibet, he chose to come here to film Kundan. The film brings to life the account of the Dalai Lama's early life from childhood right through to the later invasion and his journey to exile. So Atlas Film Studios is like the Hollywood of Morocco. But just a few kilometers away in the desert, there's something just as impressive. So there's a sandstorm about to arrive, so I'm going to give you a quick tour of this. It was the Jerusalem castle in the film The Kingdom of Heaven. Now, you might recognize it as the place that Ridley Scott brought Orlando Bloom and Liam Neeson, but it's also been the backdrop to so many more hugely popular films and TV shows with just a few small changes inside. It's here Orlando travels to Jerusalem during the Crusades of the 12th century and soon finds himself as the defender of this city and its people. This is epic. In fact, this was the backdrop to TV series Vikings, but you might recognize it for a show which has an army of fans world over. The fantasy drama brings us here to a fictional world and a continent called Westeros. So this was the set of Game of Thrones. It's right here in Series 3 of Game of Thrones that Emilia Clarke's character rises to power in the epic dragon scene when she goes on to command an army. The other real-life version of Astapor was filmed just a few hours away in the waterfront area of Morocco, known as Essaouira. And just when the movie buff inside me thought I'd seen enough, I stumbled across this on the way back to the hotel. So this American-style gas station on the outskirts of Ouarzazate is so authentic, apparently people forever stop here trying to grab fuel, but actually it's part of a film called The Hills Have Eyes in 2006. It's a horror film, and in the film, the people stop here only to take a gruesome and gory shortcut. Only I hope I know when, because it's 4 hours back to Marrakesh. The film is a remake of Wes Craven's 1977 film of the same name, and it made nearly $16 million in the US alone in its opening weekend. In the film, a retired detective and his wife are travelling between Cleveland to San Diego through the desert for a wedding anniversary when they stop off here at this gas station, and what happens next is for those who love a horror movie. Pretty cool. Now, as luck would have it, I'm allowed inside. This place is normally locked up, but after tipping a local who saw my camera, he decided to give us an entry to explore. Now, until recently, many of the props had been left behind inside, but in recent months, much of the contents has been taken by those wanting to keep a piece of movie memorabilia. Should kind of be left, really. It's mad. It's at the gas station they find news clippings detailing disappearances in the area after a nuclear test by the US government. All fake, of course. So that's it. Who knew so many of our iconic shows and films were made right here in the Moroccan desert? Like and subscribe for more.